The evangelical world was forever changed on July 14, 2025, when John Fullerton MacArthur Jr., a titan of modern Christianity, passed away. For over 5 decades, he stood behind the pulpit of Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California, delivering verse-by-verse sermons that reached millions through his radio program Grace to You, his books, and his global influence. Known for his unwavering commitment to biblical inerrancy and his bold critiques of modern evangelical trends, MacArthur was a polarizing yet profoundly impactful figure. His death marked the end of an era, but his teachings continue to shape believers worldwide. Today, we're diving deep into the life of this extraordinary man, his cause of death, his age, his family, his net worth, his lifestyle, and the biography of a pastor who lived to proclaim the truth. This is the story of John MacArthur, a man whose faith and conviction left an indelible mark on the world. Let's begin with the somber news of his passing. On July 13, 2025, Associate Pastor Tom Patton announced during a service at Grace Community Church that John MacArthur had been hospitalized with severe pneumonia. Posts on X from users like @Elwin_Sydney and @AshleyWeiss4 confirmed that he passed away the following day, July 14, at the age of 86, succumbing to complications from the illness. MacArthur's health had been declining for years, with significant challenges starting in late 2022. He underwent procedures for atrial fibrillation, a heart valve replacement, and lung issues, as he shared in a March 2025 video on the Grace to You YouTube channel. In that video, filmed from his home due to mobility issues, he spoke candidly about being on the last lap of his life, expressing gratitude for his ministry and peace in his faith. The pneumonia, described as aggressive by church sources, overwhelmed his already frail body. Patton's announcement, widely shared on X, urged the congregation to pray for MacArthur's family, emphasizing his joy at being in the presence of the Lord. His death, coming just days after televangelist Jimmy Swaggart's passing, felt like a seismic shift for the evangelical community, with tributes pouring in from figures like Greg Laurie, who called him a faithful servant. John MacArthur was born on June 19, 1939, in Los Angeles, California, making him 86 years old at the time of his death. His life unfolded against the backdrop of a rapidly changing America, from the post-World War II revivalist movements to the digital age, where his sermons were streamed globally. Growing up in a devout Christian family, he was the son of Jack MacArthur, a Baptist preacher who hosted the Voice of Calvary radio program, and Irene Dockendorf, a homemaker who instilled discipline and faith. His grandfather, Harry MacArthur, was an Anglican minister in Canada, and John often spoke of his family's spiritual legacy as a cornerstone of his calling. A distant cousin to General Douglas MacArthur, as he noted in a 1979 Christianity Today interview, John's early years were filled with promise. He excelled in athletics, earning football and baseball scholarships to colleges like Bob Jones University and Pacific College. But a car accident in his youth, which he described as a near-death experience, redirected him toward ministry. His 86 years were a masterclass in dedication, as he transformed from a young preacher to a global voice for biblical truth. Family was at the heart of MacArthur's life and teachings. In August 1963, he married Patricia Sue Smith, a partnership that lasted 62 years and became a model for the biblical family values he preached. Patricia, a constant presence at Grace Community Church, supported his ministry through trials, including her own near-fatal car accident in 2003, which left her with severe injuries. Her recovery, detailed in a Grace to You broadcast, was a testament to their shared faith. The couple raised 4 children: Matt, Marcy, Mark, and Melinda, all of whom married and gave them 15 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren by 2025. MacArthur's sermons, like those in his book The Fulfilled Family, emphasized the importance of godly parenting, though he admitted to the challenges of balancing ministry with family life. Controversy struck when his son Mark faced SEC charges in February 2020 for defrauding clients in a $16 million investment scheme, as reported by the Royce Report. The scandal, involving Mark's role at Criterion Wealth Management, led to his removal from the Grace to You board, raising questions about the family's oversight. Yet, MacArthur's family remained a pillar of support, with his children and grandchildren active in the church and its ministries, standing by him in his final days. Estimating John MacArthur's net worth is a complex task, as figures vary widely across sources. Internewscast and Primal Information claim a net worth of $50 million, while Mabum and famous people today estimate $14 to $15 million, and Pastor's Biography suggests over $15 million. A realistic range, based on his 56-year career, likely places his wealth between $15 and $25 million at the time of his death. His income stemmed from multiple sources. A pastoral salary of $150,000 to $160,000 annually at Grace Community Church, royalties from over 150 books, including the best-selling MacArthur Study Bible, which sold over 1 million copies, and speaking engagements. The Royce report detailed that Grace to You and the Masters University and Seminary generated over $70 million annually in tax-free revenue, with MacArthur earning $402,000 in 1 year from Grace to You for part-time work and $103,000 from the Masters University. Critics on X, like at W4 Nevada, pointed to his ownership of 3 homes, including an $800,000 Colorado vacation property, as inconsistent with his anti-prosperity gospel stance. Supporters, like Grace to You executive director Phil Johnson, countered that MacArthur lived modestly, residing in the same Sun Valley home for 40 years, driving 1 car, and flying business class only for health reasons after a pulmonary embolism. His wealth, they argued, was earned through legitimate work, not manipulative fundraising. MacArthur's lifestyle was a study in discipline, shaped by his rejection of the prosperity gospel preached by figures like Joel Osteen. He lived in a modest home in Sun Valley, California, for over 4 decades, a far cry from the mansions of televangelists like Kenneth Copeland. His days revolved around studying scripture, preparing sermons, and mentoring young pastors at the Masters Seminary. He enjoyed simple pleasures, spending time with his grandchildren, reading theology, and occasional outdoor activities like hiking in his younger years. However, his ownership of multiple properties, including a 2,600-square-foot home in Colorado Springs and another valued at $1.5 million, sparked debate. The Royce report criticized his lack of financial transparency, especially after Grace Community Church resigned from the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability in 2016. MacArthur's supporters emphasized his frugality, noting he avoided lavish purchases and reinvested much of his income into his ministries. His global influence, particularly in Africa and Asia, where his books and sermons were translated into dozens of languages, reflected a life devoted to spreading the gospel, not accumulating wealth. Now, let's trace the arc of John MacArthur's biography, a journey of faith and conviction. Born in 1939, he grew up in a Los Angeles steeped in revivalist fervor. His father's Voice of Calvary Quartet introduced him to ministry early, as he joined the group as a teenager, singing and sharing testimonies. After high school, he attended Bob Jones College, 1957-59, and Los Angeles Pacific College, excelling in academics and athletics. A car accident at 22, which he described as a divine wake-up call, led him to pursue ministry full-time. He earned a Master of Divinity from Talbot Theological Seminary in 1963, later receiving honorary doctorates from Talbot, 1977, and Grace Graduate School, 1976. His early career included serving as associate pastor at his father's Harry MacArthur Memorial Bible Church, 1964-66, and teaching at Los Angeles Baptist College. In 1969, at age 29, MacArthur became pastor of Grace Community Church, a role he held for 56 years. His verse-by-verse preaching style, rooted in expository teaching, grew the church from a small congregation to over 8,000 members by 2008. He preached over 3,000 sermons, many available online, covering every verse of the New Testament, a feat completed in 2011. His radio program, Grace to You, launched in 1977, reached millions across 2,000 stations worldwide, translated into languages like Spanish, Arabic, and Mandarin. In 1985, he founded the Masters University, and in 1986, the Masters Seminary, training thousands of pastors in his conservative, Reformed theology. His MacArthur Study Bible, published in 1997, became a cornerstone for Bible students, earning a Gold Medallion Book Award. MacArthur's theology was uncompromising. A cessationist, he believed miraculous gifts like tongues and prophecy ended with the apostles, a stance articulated in his book Strange Fire, 2013, which criticized the charismatic movement. His 1988 book The Gospel According to Jesus challenged easy believism, sparking debates with evangelical leaders like Billy Graham. His critiques of figures like Joel Osteen and his opposition to female ordination, same-sex marriage, and social justice movements made him a lightning rod. His defiance of California's COVID-19 restrictions in 2020, when he reopened Grace Community Church despite bans, led to legal battles and a $400,000 settlement from the state in 2021.